Sorry, we're just a little situated, yeah. 1 second there.
All right. What's new?
What's new? Scooby-Doo.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness, well, I'm excited to be back at Comic-Con. Last year we did the Kiss one, and that was kind of frenzy, and this is just the same thing, only with different fun guests. But WWE and Scooby-Doo seem to mesh quite well.
Not sure what that says about you.
I know. A bunch of crazy people. A bunch of weird show-offs.
For the reporters, would you like that?
Oh, hi, this is Ray Griffin, and I play Daphne on Scooby-Doo. Yeah, for the last 20 years. 20 years.
That's longevity.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, I'm always excited to do these WWE things. I have two brothers, and they're always like, oh no, you know. I find out about it before we even record it. They're like, I heard there's going to be WWE. I just got to have my good job. No. No, but it always gives me a lot of credibility with male members of my family. Yeah.
And so now you've got a Scooby-Doo movie with ghosts and evil people.
Yes.
How does that alter the mix?
Well, there's been a Scooby-Doo movie, but it's not everything else. I was like, what haven't we done? We've done Irish castles, we've done, everything. Yeah. And we've been doing the Flintstones, we've got all kinds of crossovers happening. Yeah, so it's fun to hang out with wrestling people, though. I don't know much about wrestling, but they're really nice. Yeah.
So what?
Oh,
So how are they?
Great.
Be honest.
All my guy friends are texting me about Paige. I'm trying to set Seamus up with my pretty friend. Yeah.
But he's excited about that.
He said he can't meet women because he travels all the time. I'm like, oh, we're going to fix it. I'm a total matchmaker. Like, it's just like this right now. There's all these women in LA that can't meet a nice guy. He seems like a really nice guy.
This guy.
Scooby-Doo storylines is the one that you want to have that hasn't happened yet?
Yes, I have a 9-year-old son, and he is obsessed with all those YouTubers, and he loves Stampy Longnose. We've had to download Stampy's Seed. My husband's like, what is that? That sounds disgusting. I can't believe we're doing that. But yeah, all kinds of things. So I said, you guys got to get on these YouTubers. I've told them, like, you should do maybe a Minecraft. And I play Eligard in the Minecraft video game, the story mode. So I was like, oh, and I could do the voice of Eligard for you too, and Daphne. But yeah, I said, get these YouTubers in because these kids go crazy for them, and you would get so many more viewers. My son would watch anything with Stampy in it, or Dan TDM. He loves Dan TDM. He wants to dye his hair blue because of that.
So I was I'm wondering, since you've been playing Daphne for quite some time now, if Daphne were to come to Comic-Con, what do you think she would cosplay as?
The most elaborate fashion thing ever. She would probably, she would build her costume. She'd be building her costume for like at least 2 years, bring in a lot of experts to consult on it, and it would be very sparkly and purple.
Should be Jim.
Yeah, that would be great. I'll tell her.
So, how would you say Daphne has changed since you first started playing her? Because she's certainly evolved a little bit, but yet remained consistent.
I'm kind of a sarcastic, snarky person, and I would have to say that Daphne has gotten progressively more sarcastic and snarky since I think I started behaving myself like the first 5 or 6 times I played, just going like, thanks for the part, now I'm like, this part's mine. Yeah.
Now, these guys are used to doing basically improv. Now here they had a script, right? Or was there improv within your scene?
It was mostly scripted, but they were telling us about the whole process of how it goes and the villains, and sometimes you'll go in front of people and you're supposed to be the good guy, but they start booing you, so then you're gonna have to play into that. I didn't know anything about that. It's just been fascinating for me.
But they adapted to you, and they gave you something out.
Oh yeah, they were good actors, and not everyone is. We've done some wrestling ones where I'm like, do they have acting wrestling? No, these guys were fantastic. I hate improv. I'm terrified of improv. I get out there going, I'm gonna go back to the back of the line and I don't know. I'm trying to be funny, which is always painful.
This is awesome. So when is the result? When do we get to see this? I just came in like August.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that. Why am I asking you?
I'll be in Ireland. I told Seamus I'll be in Ireland in August, so it'll be like kind of a neat little. I'll think of him when the release happens.
Yeah.
Work or vacation?
Vacation. I'm taking my son.
Go to Galway. I just came from Island.
I'm going to go.
Always beautiful.
There you go.
Go to the Aran Islands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
that,
We're doing
yeah.
a little Disney tour, which
Oh,
I'm
it'd be
Disney and
lovely.
Warner Brothers. There's gonna be like a shock collar.
Yeah.
Is it one of those adventures by things?
Yes.
Yes.
It's supposed to be incredible. I'm very excited.
I've heard
Yeah,
they're
it's
amazing.
always so pretty.
We're gonna stay in a castle and learn falconry.
Oh,
and do Irish
yeah,
dancing
I know. Oh,
and farm. Oh my god, it's
Literal
gonna
fairy tale.
Yes, I know. I'm
Yeah.
so excited. And the people are like, "Do you get to go for free because you work for Disney all the time?" And I was like, "No."
Is there any rumor as to the next Scooby-Doo? You have that lined up? Do they have lined up?
We've recorded some new things, but I don't think I can talk about it yet.
fair
Some
enough.
ways,
Let's talk about this one actually. So the first one was more in the WWE universe, being it was WrestleMania Mystery. This one, it's like an off-road race, correct?
Yes,
So
it's like, you know,
your
the
universe.
gang always gets invited to these, like, they're always
Yeah.
they're on vacation, and then crazy crap happens, and they have to end up solving a mystery. So it's another one of those, like, oh, fun, you know, the McMahons invited us to this cool race they're having because we helped them back at the, you know, WWE thing. So we think we're on vacation just at this cool race, and then it all goes
Things
down.
happen.
It all goes down. We got to split up, look for clues.
Darn you kids.
There's a mask.
I would have got away with it.
Every celebrity that guests always wants that
That
line.
line.
It's always cute.
There you go.
It's weird to see like somebody who's super famous like geek out over like, I got the kids line. And you're like, no, you also won an Oscar, but I don't care. You got the Batman kids line.
Do they do multiple ones of those? To sort of keep you in the dark as to who the actual
Oh,
villain
no,
is?
no.
no, that's too
Yeah.
bad.
That's something I could do with that.
What do you feel you have in common with Daphne, since you have played Daphne?
Well, I'm a super girly girl, and I love fashion and dresses. I'm a, you know, all for equal rights too, but I like to get my nails done too. So yeah, just the fashion thing, and always being. I mean, until I got married, I was always in love with guys that didn't want anything to do with me, and I feel like, you know, she's always had this like unrequited crush on Freddie, where he's just such a useless idiot. But yeah, that was me. Like until I met my husband, I was always like, you know, there'd be a room full of people who adored me, and I'd find the one person who I had to point out their story. I need to make them love me.
Is this movie as batshit crazy as the Kiss one?
That was pretty psychedelic. This is not as psychedelic as that. I don't know. Oh god, last year when Gene Simmons, people told me like about him, and I was like, I know what he could be like. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. And oh my god, every woman within a mile radius of him got hit on. We all felt very. If you're gonna get harassed, you know you're gonna get harassed by the best. So I went straight to the top.
So you work with a lot of wrestlers these past few movies, and at least for this movie in particular. Who was the one you had the most pleasure working with?
Well, you know, last time Daphne had a huge crush on John Cena, and I was so
Who doesn't?
excited. I was so excited to meet him, but we all worked totally separately. I'm actually meeting these guys until today. I thought that Sheamus was doing like a really cool, like I was like, he was doing kind of a goth vampire cosplay type thing, and then he's got an R band, and I was like, oh, he's with us. And then somebody's like, no, he's in your movie, and I was like, so you don't know anybody, so you meet him at the press. I didn't meet Kiss or anybody until the press junket too. Yeah, because I think a lot of people that don't do voiceover for a living like all the time, they're just a little bit nervous about, you know, so I think that they kind of want to keep them all to themselves and just kind of make sure that they can give all their attention to them and that they're not embarrassed. So when you're sitting next to Frank Welker, it's hard not to feel like,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I still feel like that. I've been doing this forever, and he'll do something, and I think, what am I doing? Why am I even doing this? To have a dog and a cat fight, like he'll do like dog sounds and cat sounds fighting, and you can swear that like he overlaps. He's so good at it. You're like, it's just amazing. It's really cool. But we'll never get him at one of these days.
What a shame, too. So, bring him in.
Yeah,
Bring him
that
into the
movie on Netflix that I know that voice. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's just it's one of the best documentaries on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
But there's just all the John DiMaggio
Right,
did
voiceover
it.
people.
Yeah, it's all these voiceover people, and it's just never been done before where they got everybody in a room. And I kept telling Frank, like, I mean, you've got to do it. You're like the king, and they have to have you. They were ready to go to the golf course, wherever he was, they were gonna go. And he just when I watched that, I think it's a great encapsulation of our business here. It's such a shame that Frank's.
I've never met a voiceover guy who's crazy. They're alone in a room together making
dated
voices.
all of them.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, where does this turn off? Yeah, but they're all doing their best, you know, their stuff. The Shatners that go around.
What is your favorite thing about doing voiceover? Do you have a...
Well, I'm a mom. I've got 2 boys, and You know, I mean, you can still play the cute girl, and you know.
I'm going to steal Gray because she's been here for a long time.
She has.
Represent Undertaker.
Are you an Undertaker fan?
Are you an overall? Sorry, I didn't step over. That was my question. Are you overall a wrestling fan?
I am. Yeah, you know, I kind of jumped in originally, I think, back in the 80s, you know, there was a big push when WrestleMania first began, and I think I was on board with that. And just kind of moving on through the years. I jumped in for the Attitude Era, I saw Ron and Stone Cold Rising, I saw Kane and Undertaker, and they had a great story together. And then I got to come back into it in the first Scooby WWE crossover movie. It was WrestleMania Mystery. And that was awesome to get to work with John Cena and all the superstars that we had in that movie as well.
For the reporters, could you get writers?
Sure. My name's Brandon Vietti, and I'm the producer on this movie.
And how many others have you done?
Of the WWE crossovers.
Or whatever you want to do.
Whatever. Well, I've been at Warner Brothers Animation for about 13 years now. I've been directing and producing lots of different Batman things. Most recently, the Lego Justice League movies I'm producing. I produced a series called Young Justice. I directed a movie called Batman and the Red Hood. And I've worked on the new Superman Batman adventures. I've worked on The Batman. Worked on Superman Doomsday. So I've been around. I've done a few things. Yeah.
Comic-Con.
So what was the selection process in choosing the talent for this movie? Was it more like WWE told you who they wanted to use, or could you pick from the roster? How did that work?
It's a little of both. Being a fan, I couldn't help but to submit a list. So, of course, I had a few requests myself, and they, of course, wanted some of their particular guys involved. And so we just kind of worked back and forth on a list. And once we had the list, away we went.
Do you have a? Sorry. Do you have
Go
a?
for it. I just asked.
Oh no worries. Do you have a favorite wrestler of all time?
All time.
Yeah, like of all the wrestlers.
I have to say I'm really partial to Undertaker.
Undertaker.
I am. I think Stone Cold Steve Austin is pretty up there as well. But I love Taker because there's the theatrics that he brings to it. It's already a really fantastic world, but whenever Undertaker comes out, it's an even more fantastic world. Stagecraft involved in his entrance alone is amazing. And so I think that always drew me in even more, was just the presence of Taker through not only the stagecraft, but just his personality. When he walks in the room, he has presence, and that's tough. Not everybody can do that.
No, it's like characters like him and Bray Wyatt definitely bring a nice element of mysticism to the plot of
Were you a fan of animation and Scooby-Doo? Was this what you saw yourself doing or hoping to do? Or do you like wake up every day and realize, like, holy cow, I produce the thing I love the most?
Yes, I mean, Super Friends and Scooby-Doo, I think, were the cartoons I remember first watching. That's what really drew me in. And I, of course, was at the right age during the 80s for Transformers and G.I. Joe and Thundercats. And I eventually kind of got into comics. I was actually trying to break into comics for a while when I, on a whim, applied to like a character design position for Bruce Timm on the new Superman Batman adventures. They actually had put out a recruiting ad in a magazine, and I answered it. And long story short, I got the job for Bruce Timm, and he and Glenn Murakami kind of trained me for the job. I never looked back to comics, and I found out that, you know what, that was actually what I meant to do. My first love, I think, was always animation, and I feel lucky to be here.
Do you go to the WWE with the story or the script you wanted to tell, or do you pick the wrestlers and then come up with the story around who you got as the talent?
Story first. So we did the first movie with them, the WrestleMania Mystery, and we wanted to change it up a little bit. So we went back and forth quite a bit with WWE and trying to find just the right story to follow up the first one, which was such a great, I think, traditional Scooby-Doo mystery. And together we landed on a racing movie, which is really different. Like the wrestling company wanted to do a racing story. But it was brilliant because what it does was it really gave us a chance to get WWE superstars out of the ring and show how strong those characters are. They don't need the wrestling ring, they don't need wrestling to be really strong, cool characters that anybody can get into. And that was, I think, the really fun part for me, was actually figuring out what their personalities would do in different situations, driving cars that point up against this is, our bad guy in this episode. Speaking of and being converted, teaming them up with Shaggy and Scooby. Just putting Shaggy and Scooby in a car with Undertaker and seeing that interaction is just amazing, so that's kind of how the story also was just, I think, the opportunity to show the superstars in an entirely different sporting event and see what happens. And like I said, I think fans are really going to like it because it's a change of pace from the traditional Scooby story. And I think that's you need that once in a while.
Are there any cameos, like in the Kiss movie, you had Kevin Smith? Are there any cameos in this one, maybe related to racing or something else, or something that has nothing to do with anything else in the movie?
Not too much, really. This one's pretty straightforward, just WWE. Yeah, so there were no sort of like Easter eggs in terms of other casting. But yeah, I remember they did that in the Kiss movie. That was really cool. I didn't get to work on that one, but I watched it being developed, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was really cool.
So my question is, so you brought up that Undertaker's going to be in the race. Is he the only wrestler that will be actually in the race, or?
Oh no, it's all WWE superstars racing really crazy car designs. I don't know if you saw the movie poster.
I haven't yet.
But it does feel like wacky places. The car designs are crazy and really cool. And we teamed them up in interesting ways. That was the other fun thing. So we got to make like essentially tag teams.
Yeah, okay.
Where we've got Lana and Rusev in one car. We've got Sheamus teamed up with Stardust. We've got Paige teamed up with The Miz.
Okay.
And of course, Undertaker, Shaggy, and Scooby, plus Los Matadores.
Yeah.
David J. Moore here. Okay.
So how does it work? Because you mentioned Stardust, but he left the company. Is that just a risk you have to take when you're putting wrestlers in and rush time and hoping for the best when it finally comes out?
A little bit, yeah. It takes us a while to make these movies, and reality rolls on. So there's not much we can do about that.
Were there any cool promotional things on the WWE side, just with the racing and all that angle? Or do you know if they're doing anything fun on that? Like any promotional fun things the WWE is doing just to take advantage of that racing angle, I guess, like a live action promotion or something?
I see. Not that I know of. It's a great question. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have an answer for that one.
So you mentioned that you've worked in a bunch of the different aspects of animation, production, directing, etc. Is that common, like the fluid role, or is that something that you decided to take due to the fact that you enjoy this type of work? Also, subsequently, do you think you see yourself transitioning back to a more hands-on creative role for like the right film?
Well, I'm pretty hands-on, actually. Yeah. I started in storyboards and character design, and that's storyboards is kind of the path. Directing is kind of the path to producing quite often. And so that was actually my rise through Warner Brothers. And what that does is that helps you learn a little bit about every department. And so when you actually hit that producer position, it helps you manage each of those departments. So I'm on board from day one. As soon as the script is written, I'm there with part of the story planning. I work closely with the director and the designers to provide animation notes. When the animation comes back, I'm there doing sound effects, music spotting, and final editing. And so I'm there from day one. Pretty hands-on. Oh yes. And actually, there's nothing. I'm trying to think. There's nothing that I'm on currently that has been announced. But I do have 3 other projects currently at WB, so hopefully we'll set time next year. Yeah.
What wrestler in this movie was maybe your favorite to work with? Who maybe stands out the most, or was the most surprising performer in the context of the movie?
Oh, it's hard. That is a really tough question because everybody brought something so cool to it. I think in terms of challenges, I would say Undertaker was challenging. I felt a lot of pressure. We all did, bringing Undertaker into a Scooby-Doo movie. He's such a dark character in the show, and we didn't want to do anything to hurt that. But at the same time, we did want to, while protecting his character that everybody knows, we wanted to bring him into the Scooby world, and that meant, how can we warm him up just enough so that, Shaggy and Scooby are cool with him, our young audience is not afraid of him, and I think we did a good job.
How you going?
They don't blame you.
Today's Scooby Doo. We have seen this in some iteration.
So you played Shaggy in multiple iterations at this point. How do you feel like he's grown?
Well, I think that every creative director had their own type. I mean, certainly Mystery Incorporated was much different than what we were doing in terms of the animation. The movie stayed virtually the same. The DVD films stay virtually to base, to sort of the demographic that wants that. As we babysit kids all over the world all the time. Those don't vary very often. But if you look at like the TV show itself, that varies. So, you know, and then our job is to facilitate what the writers want. And what we're doing now is very Groucho Marx. The way they write it is very quick, very fast. You know, like every creative director sort of wants to take their take on these stock characters. So, you know, some of them I like better than others. My job is to sort of give them what they want.
Do you prefer to do the live action? Well, what are the benefits of live action versus the benefits
Well,
of voice?
live action, you can use your body, your face, your body, every single articulation is part of the storytelling. In the booth, the crazy thing that people don't understand, one of the things I think is missed actually in casting of animated films now, is the ability that voice actors have is uncoded. Just because you're a celebrity, just because you get on a late night television show, does not mean that you're actually good at voice acting. A lot of voice actors in today's world are flat and bad actors. They could be lovely actors, but it's a talent, it is a craft, it is an ability that is not understood by people making animated films today, in my opinion. I think that if you look at something like Frank Welker, anyone that comes to our booth once a week, they're incredibly talented. And what they do cannot be duplicated because they have a lot of Twitter followers. So I have a very sort of, I watch these things, I have 3 kids, I go all the time, and when you get a flat performance, there's nothing any animator can do to save that performance. And I think that it's sad that our industry is so based on results instead of process. And you can see that now when people are casting celebrities instead of actors. Yeah. And you know, for me personally, as a guy who's a blue collar actor who's been around for 20 years, it's the beginning of the end.
Well, you seem to be the person to ask us now. How did you feel about the wrestlers being involved?
I think they're great. I mean, they are playing themselves. It's totally different, and they're all full of energy, and they're so charming. You know, and they're playing into what they do. That's their character. They can't do that. And they're unbelievable. You know, if you're not with them yet, they're great. They're super charming. They're super lovely and charming. It's great.
I asked Gray this, I'm going to ask you as well. If Shaggy were to come to Comic-Con, who do you believe he would cosplay as?
Cosplay?
Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious. Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Matt Smith's Doctor Who. I mean, that seems like sort of
I'm already picturing this on Scooby.
yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
What would Scooby do? I think you'd make a great Scooby-Doo. Shaggy would get into a Scooby-Doo outfit.
Shaggy or Scooby, and then maybe Scooby can go.
No, because you want to play somebody you'd never to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would come as like,
Scooby the dog.
he'd be a dog, right? He'd be like
Wonder Dog or something. Yeah.
I want to see.
These are the hard-hitting questions.
I want to see Doctor Who now.
So,
You go first.
so since you mentioned, you've been around, you got to live action for 20 years, and you transitioned to voice acting. Did you find that you had to do anything to prepare for that transition, or what aided it? Since
Here's
it
the
is
thing I'll say. Yeah, I will say that I thought for sure, I started to do a lot of voices. I mean, not a lot of voices, but I've done like stuff on Batman. And I had an experience where I was working on a TV show. It was, halfway through the session, I got fired. And nobody fired me in the moment, but I realized that, I wasn't getting it, and everyone else in the room was super talented. And I was like, I am not as good as these people. And I knew halfway through, I was repulsed. And it was in that moment I realized that it is a craft and an art to be able to be a fantastic voice actor. And it is a craft and an art that I do not possess. So I actually only do one thing. I do Shaggy, and I do that really well. And I actually want to protect that as long as possible, because that's I feel like I feel a sense of ownership of that character. But make no mistake, the people who do what they do are fantastic. And so I sort of give them all the credit they deserve when given the opportunity.
So, part of this,
why do you have a tank trap at the bottom of your
well, it's a shaker bottle. So sometimes I'll put like a pre-workout. Just, just shakes it in there for you.
Is that your workout?
No, like you mix the pre-workout so instead of having an actual blender to do it for you. Yeah, you could put like oatmeal or something in there too if you want it.
That's
Just kind of do it and
That's like a tank stop.
I thought it was the
from World War
Undertaker
II.
symbol when I first saw
No.
it. You're right, it doesn't.
I need the. That's how I get the power. As target questions. But
That's fancy.
what I was going to ask you is, prior to working with these WWE superstars in these past two movies, were you a fan of wrestling at all? And if so,
I'm not. It's not my jam. Tip my hat to them. They're great performers, guys. And they are. I will say that between the two shows, I'm always shocked at how charming and lovely people are. When you see people like Triple H, or you see people on Scooby, not you, anyone but you. You sort of make assumptions based on character, or you read things on Twitter, you read things in the press, and you're like, oh, that person's awesome. The reality is that 99% of the people in our business are really lovely. That there's a work ethic that gets you ahead of other people. And in general, the good people stay, and the bad people generally find their way out. So I always look at that, when you see people like that, they're charming and lovely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sean,
Good, how you going?
Good.
it's nice now.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the humidity's going away.
Fingers crossed, right? Yeah.
So where is this film holding you up for life? How many movies have you done?
As far as directing, before this, I was on season 2 of Justice, doing TV episodes. And then after that, I went back to storyboarding, mostly DC directed DVDs.
Yes.
Killing Joke.
Right.
And then after that, Brandon asked me to do, Brandon asked me to do this week WWE. I saw his first version, and I had a lot of fun. WWE fan too, so I was like, he asked, I'm like, okay, I got it.
That's great.
Yes.
So they ask you to do this, and it's like, oh, okay, it's working with wrestlers. You might think it's going to be the first one going, oh, but we're going to put them in a racing set. What's your thought?
At first, I was like, oh yeah, you're going that way? But I know they wanted to do something different for the second one. Can't just, how do you, are we going to give him a bigger bad guy to wrestle? And then, after they were talking to WWE, they came up with that idea, and I was like, okay, no, they can still be themselves. But since I'm a fan of, things like Wacky Races or Cannonball or something, I'm like, okay, I think we can do this. I was actually, once they explained the story, I was totally on board.
Did you put in any homages or references to Wacky Races or Cannonball, or any of the things you just mentioned?
Not that I was
Just for fans.
No. If I did, it was probably only by accident. We were just trying to kind of stick to the story. And what we were trying to do the most when we were doing the race scenes was, superstars have their own persona in the ring and the way they behave. So I figured I just wanted to make sure that still is intact when they're on the road. You know what I mean? So whether they still kind of have the same beats and the same kind of they drive the way they would fight. If that makes sense.
So directing animation is obviously a lot different than directing live action. So what would you say is the preparation and the process for you? Because you said this is your first time directing, correct?
On a direct video.
On a direct video, sorry, yeah. So what is the process? What do you think makes it, helps you out? What makes it, aside from the fact that you don't have actors working? Yeah, so talk a bit about the process of preparation decision.
For animation, the difference from live action is we get the script and then we immediately
try to get the voice actors to do voice acting. And then the storyboard artists from there board it out based off the performance to give them the body language. Whereas like in live action, it's all out there on the set at the same time. So for preparing, we want to make sure the voice actors have enough to go on. We show them pictures of like what the bad guy looks like. And if we have any of the cars designed at the time, we show them, hey, we're going to ride in this, and then for the board artists, we make sure like they have plenty of reference. They get to know the mannerisms of the WWE guys, and they have as much of many different takes for certain things. We did a lot of different takes and actions and maybe like signature skills like the WWE guys would say. So the storyboard guys would have a lot to play with. So stuff like that.
Do you get to be more hands-on with the talent themselves, or do you kind of guide the process of watching it?
Me and the producer are usually in the booth, and we try to we control a lot of the performances. But these guys are so great at doing their job that we don't really have to do much, except just paint them like, oh no, this is what's happening in the scene right now. You're kind of on the car right here, or you're driving around the bend, it's kind of tight, and they go, okay, I got it. And they're really good at seeing, like, in their mind's eye what's going on. So actually, a lot of people, the live action guys talk about how it's kind of hard to perform in front of a blue screen and imagine what's there. These guys they don't even have a blue screen. They just have like a mic and a booth and us behind the glass going, giving them the thumbs up. But they were great at it.
I wanted to ask, is there challenges to animating a live person? Because with the wrestlers, you are animating them as they are. So is that a little bit more challenging?
It is.
Trying to kind of get them.
It totally is. Because, these guys, they have very signature things that they do with their body language. And we try to put as much in as we can. And we try to give the animators reference. We give them lots of clips. And we try to make little sketches and notes about, like, this is how this guy does this move. This is what he does with his eyebrow before hair. He kind of does a shimmy real quick before he does this. We try to put that in as much as possible, but time permitting, budget permitting, there's only so much we can do. But I think fans will recognize those little mannerisms.
Yes. So I have a question for you. You said you are a wrestling fan. So is there any wrestler, past, present, or future, that you would want to personally see in a WWE project or WWE Scooby project?
Like if we did a third one? Actually, my dream came true. Back when they were still trying to come up with the lineup, there was a lot of wrestlers that were kind of coming in and out of names. I'm like, oh, I like this guy, I like this guy. But the one I really was hoping for was Goldust and Stardust.
That's
and we got him. So I was like, oh, I've arrived. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm super excited because Cody Rhodes, he's gonna be in Reseda out here.
PWG?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But going on that, was there anybody on your list and suggestions that maybe didn't get chosen that you would like to see?
I'm trying to think. We had a long list.
Maybe for the sequel.
Maybe for the sequel. My list was mostly like the Dust Brothers, Paige, and but so I kind of got my list.
So you got everybody.
Brad, ask Brad that question. He probably had a couple extra.
Yeah, no, we did.
We came up.
Okay.
You guys already asked the question I was going to ask, which was, since you've done stuff like The Killing Joke, now you've done this.
Yeah.
Do you lean toward more action drama, or do you lean more comedy action?
I've been trying to do a little bit of both. It just so happens with my schedule, I ended up doing like probably a little bit more of like the superhero, just action drama.
Right.
But I like both.
Do the wrestlers have any input on how the characters are being portrayed? Like, did they look at the script and read it? Like, well, my guy would never say this, or my guy would do this in this situation.
Oh, totally, yeah. And we before we sit down with them, we're like, hey, if you see something that we've written on the page that wasn't quite, like if you can like re-say the line to match your character more, feel free to suggest that. And they did. So we totally went with that.
Or would they say something like, oh, my guy would crash into this guy if he was driving in this place or something?
As far as actually the driving, like who crashes into who, we make sure like, most of the time they go, oh, I would totally crash into that guy, so it always lined up anyway.
And like when you say they drive like they wrestle, like is this like, how creative are you in the animation of the driving? Are they using the cars to do like finishing moves on other cars or something like that?
Nice. Oh yeah. We try to do something kind of like that. It's more like who they go after and who they have beef with on the track. We try to put a little bit into that. But of course, mostly it's going to be about the Scoopinator and the mystery teams, and they're going up against the speed team. But the little times we do cut to the other races, we do try to squeeze that in. And yeah, sometimes they'll do some things, but also sometimes they get out of their cars and jump onto the other cars to do, and have a little bit of a match there. So you can look forward to that, and that's kind of how we can, because we had to have so much like that, so that's how we kind of squeeze that in.
So what can you tell us about the Speed Demon and how it compares to some of the other villains? And there have been tons over the years for Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, so many good ones. This one, I think, is more the fact that he's in his own car, his own haunted car, and we wanted to. A lot of times, the other Scooby villains, like if they're in the woods, they'll play with. They'll scare you. They'll disappear into the woods and come back out. But on this one, like once he gets on the track, he's there to wreak havoc with the racers. So it becomes a little bit more action-packed, and we just want to make sure, like, you want to make sure that you're afraid of him on the track, which is hard because superstars aren't afraid of anybody, but they are afraid of losing the race. So it's going to be more about that, I guess. Hope I answered your question. I don't know if I was kind of like diverged off the track a little bit.
Speaking of that, so I'm going to jump back. In terms of you growing up and working at Warner Brothers, of course, shines bright in the history of animation. Did you have, growing up, did you have particular favorites in terms of cartoons and superheroes and, say, Bugs Bunny or something?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, Bugs Bunny was always running on the TV and selling movies.
Even the rabbit.
Yeah, but I watch Superheroes. So, and Space Ghost.
Space Ghost.
Okay, awesome. I mean, I just think we're incredibly lucky being able to go, have comic book vision.
Oh, totally. Well, also, because I grew up on those cartoons, I did want to pursue creative art, but I wasn't quite sure if I would actually land at the studio that I was a big fan of. And I got lucky, and I worked hard, got in there, and I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm where I want to be, so it was good. It felt great.
And my usual question, are you working on anything else now?
I don't think I can say it.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
My fault.
Well, last night they announced that we would be releasing a Teen Titans Jones contract. So I worked on that one.
Decent?
Awesome.
Well, I was just going to say, maybe it's some time is for the designs of the cars, were the wrestlers' ring attire kind of taken into account in the style?
Oh yeah, good question. So that was a little bit of we had to kind of do a lot of big tanking on that. Because it would be if it was just like one guy in a car, it would be easy to theme their car like that. And for the most part, we might have done that with one of them, like Sheamus's car. It is very themed back to his attire. And if you look at his car, it's almost like the top of it is almost shaped like a Celtic sword.
Okay.
But the Dust Brothers are riding with them. But it's more like they go, oh, we're going to ride with you. And McMahon put them with them. So they didn't really have a say into what this car was going to be to sound like. And Sheamus like, oh, I guess, But with the other ones, there are a lot of team-ups. And a lot of them, we came up with designs that were very much like that kind of spoke to the personalities of both the racers. So with the Matadors, that was easy because their team has one thing. But with like Miz and Paige, they're like the odd couple. And, but we try to make their car kind of like speak to that real pairing. So their car is called the Too Awesome, and it's something you can tell Miz designed because he's so Hollywood, right? It's actually a car that's split in half, just like a team, and Paige sits on one side and it's colored red.
Are there any non-speaking wrestler cameos like there were in the WrestleMania movie? Like just animated,
I think we did.
Don't ask me questions about animation.
It's Paige, everybody. I'm talking to you.
Hey, everybody. Hey.
How you going?
wrestle in front of 100,000 people at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium to being in a booth by yourself, talking to yourself. But luckily, you have the director and producer in your ear telling you if you sucked or not, so they help you in the process. But yeah, like it's definitely a tough transition, but I had a lot of fun with it. And like after that, I started doing stuff too, and hopefully get to do some of that.
Have you got? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did you find animation when they told you you were going to be in
No, of course, like I'm not a cave woman. No, like Scooby Doo was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. Honestly. Oh my gosh, that is fun. Tag me in. Tag me in. So he's intoxicated. I am. No, just kidding.
Stuff he said about you. He was
Oh, was it good stuff?
shameful.
Oh, no, please tell me. I want to
Say
get
things
secrets.
about him.
Oh no, I haven't been to him because I'm like secretly in love with him. He doesn't know that. I just awkwardly stare at him all the time. Kind of breathe heavy. Oh no, you can keep it in.
I'm definitely doing
That's how it finds out.
I'm awkward. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, so I completely missed the question now because I was just distracted.
animation.
Fan of animation, yeah, so Scooby Doo and stuff. And then I was actually going to ask the questions of what animation was like I would like to be in next. And I was like, maybe more of the adult animations. Like I like Family Guy, I like South Park and stuff like that. So maybe something like that in the near future would be fun.
I'm curious how they did direct it. They didn't say you something.
No. Well, you know, they tell you the line before yours, and then they say, okay, say how you feel you should say it. And they're like, okay, but you're more angry in this one, so maybe project it this way and say it this way, or say this word like this instead of like that. So it helped.
Have you seen your animated character?
I had this on the freaking cover, and I didn't even realize. I had no idea, just because I thought, you know, it was Hunter and Stephanie. I thought it was her in a bra. I was like, why is she in a bra? And then Seamus pointed out the fact it was me, and I was like, I like Home Alone did. I was just like,
Have you heard your voice come out of your character?
no, not yet. We'll see. I'm like blocking my eyes because I want to see it.
Is it kind of weird, like, to voice an animated character that is based off you? Was that experience kind of strange?
It was really cool just because it is Scooby Doo, and like it's one of the most iconic, you know, movies and shows of all time. So being a part of that was insane, and then being Paige was insane. My mom and dad, like, my mom's ovaries exploding, my dad's puking rainbows. Like, it's incredible.
That's awesome.
So did they come to you and say, we want you to be in this Scooby-Doo crossover movie, or did they go to everybody and say, does anyone want to do a Scooby-Doo?
Oh no, I feel like if they did that, everyone would be like, yeah. No, they have a select few, you know, like Michael Luis and everyone, and Vince, they have their cast and they want to put together. They already did a Scooby-Doo previously, so this one, Vincent, and Dusty was part of it too. Rest in peace, Dusty is a nice memorial for him at the end of the movie. But yeah, they come up to me and they're like, do you want to be a part of it? And I'm like, why would I want to be part of Scooby-Doo? No, it was incredible. I was like, hell yes, sign me up.
How much time did it take to do?
We were in the booth for like 2 hours.
That's it?
That was it.
That's awesome.
I was surprised too. I was like, oh, this is going to take a couple of days, maybe a week or so. But and I had a lot of lines, surprisingly, as well. More than Seamus, he gets really fair about that.
Of course.
So like when they showed the concept to you and it's like a racing movie, did you look at it and go, I wish I could do that in real life?
Oh, I always wish I could do that in real life. I was like, that's way more exciting than what I do when I'm at home.
Come on, you can do that in real life.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Don't tell WWE, they'll go crazy. For a living.
Is there a Scooby-Doo character you relate to the most?
Probably awkwardness, I would say, obviously Shaggy. Because I'm very awkward at times. I'm not into the Scooby snacks like he is, though. But yeah, like, probably more Shaggy, yeah.
And can you tell us at all about SummerSlam?
About SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, okay.
You have no idea literally until the day off, really.
Oh, wow.
They start having like set matches and stuff, and right now they're not even starting to plan that. They have Battleground still and other stuff to deal with. And literally everything changes on the day as well.
Oh, wow.
Walking around like, oh, you need me? Okay, fly out.
Do you have to go be in the Sunday event? Because it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. No, actually, I don't. I was going to fly home today to have a day off before I have to go to Raw, but now I'm just going to stay here in San Diego.
All right.
Hey, have a good time. Drink some whiskey. alcoholic whiskey.
Get into wacky racers and run around the city.
You'll start seeing me running around the city in like a wacky racing car. I'm like, I'm Paige from Scooby-Doo.
Those pedicabs.
Yeah, no, from Scooby. No. I'll be taking the whole gang with me.
You can go to
What's
SeaWorld.
on your Comic-Con so far?
The same thing. Like obviously, I went around, did some interviews and stuff. Did some some on the balcony. I was like, this is quite dangerous, like death-defying. But I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was really fun. But yeah, it's been me and Seamus for the start of it, and then we got to. I like to just call them Daphne and Shaggy. They'll always be like that to me. I'm like, oh hey Daphne, hey Shaggy. They're like, that's not my name. I was like, okay. The name's not great to me.
They're used to it.
Yeah, they're like, stop it. My name's Matt. No, it's not. It's like Paige, like my real name.
Come, Steve.
Yeah.
Are there any other cartoons you would, if you could be a part of?
Yeah, I said earlier I would like to do part of Family Guy and South Park, obviously, because like adult comedies, I'm not very PG at times.
Rick and Morty.
When you were growing up.
Oh, I really like Hey Arnold and Rugrats and stuff.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah, I was really into it. And I saw people wearing it. And I'd be part of the Simpsons too. Everyone wants to be part of the Simpsons, right?
Yeah.
But I saw someone wearing a Rugrats shirt earlier and I literally was the happiest girl. I was like, you literally put a smile on my face. I've been having a sad day.
Where'd you grow up?
In Norwich, it's like 2 hours north of London.
Right, so were there British cartoons you were there?
Not really. Our cartoons.
That's Danger Mouse.
Dr. Snuggles.
No, I never watched that though. I never watched that. Literally all Americanized ones, like I used to like Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. I don't know.
Were you into Doctor Who?
Don't be mad at me, but
I know it. That's fine.
Well, I went to the Doctor Who set there, which is really cool. I think it's in Cardiff in Wales.
Yes.
And that was really, really cool. Like we got to go inside the TARDIS. Like I understand Doctor Who, I'm just not someone who's like religiously watching.
Yeah.
Sorry guys.
It wasn't a girl thing for the longest time.
Yeah, no, but I have a lot of friends that were into it, and if everyone's, I'm British, everyone asks, hey, are you a Doctor Who fan? I'm like, no.
All right.
It's like Harry Potter. No, I am a Harry Potter fan.
James Bond?
Oh, I do like James Bond.
There we go.
I'm a big fan of James Bond. That's it.
Okay. You
Have
can
a
stay.
favorite Ninja Turtle? Sorry, this is kind of random, but do you have a favorite Ninja Turtle?
Not really. I wasn't like religiously watching that too.
Oh, okay.
But I watched Ninja Turtles. But I also, the ones that I'd watched was Hey Arnold, Rugrats, and...
Do you have a favorite Rugrat?
Well, Shaggy was annoying. I like Dylan, obviously. The twins, they were annoying too. What's her name? Now I can't remember her name. Angelica. Yeah, I kind of like her attitude. That's why I grew up to be like her.
I'm pretty sure I have to guess the answer. Do you want to be an action star?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to.
You'd be
Yeah.
well, we got to get you in,
The Expendables.
Fast and Furious 8.
Yeah, I was just maybe, can I just be the new Lara Croft and be done with my life?
There you go.
Yeah,
You would be a good Lara
just be the most palest Lara Croft.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I like that idea.